Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you've been warned. You may get epileptic seizures if you are a sufferer of such things. So, don't come to me. Also, Far Cry New Dawn is a work of fiction. And this is part 0 of our playthrough of Far Cry New Dawn, the sequel to Far Cry 5. So if you haven't played that one, or seen the playthrough of that one which is on our channel, probably should do that first. So this is part 0. We're going to be checking out the options and settings and all that good stuff. And boy, is it a good one. This game's got really good settings menu thingy. So yeah, we even got like a little survivor guide thing here. It's obviously a new game. I've been doing a lot of testing. We got like an episode up, but I had like lots of stats and stuff because we were recording on the same machine. Long story short, we got the setting right now because we're using Lappy to record and let the computer run the game separately, as it should be. So you have your new game as usual. You have your survival guide here. What's this? This tells you all of the stuff in the game. Handy. So if you are new blow uno, I got you covered. So that's good. Everything pretty much. I'm not gonna look too much into that because I don't want to. If it's possible to have spoilers in the Far Cry 5.5, you know, just in case. But it's there. Alright, options. Let's go in there. See what's going on. So you have gameplay here. Make sure my coloring's all good. It looks good. Everything looks fine. So you have the option here to have vehicles automatically steer and maintain speed when you're shooting that shit, because it's quite hard to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. So that's handy. So you can turn out manual, automatic. I'm having automatic. You can have friendly fire for the co-op modes. I think you can play with up to 4 people in this one, or 3 people, including yourself. So yeah, cat friendly. So friendly fire is a thing if you want it. You can change the position of the reticle to be a little bit off so you can see what's going on when you're aiming, or completely centered, which is more old school shootery type thing. Change the thickness, bold or normal. Aim type, you can have the hold or toggle. We like the left trigger hold, so we'll be using the Xbox One controller. In-game party mode, self-explanatory. If you're playing a multiplayer co-op thingamajiggies, that's you covered there. HUD interaction, so that means it hides when it's off or it's a toggle. I'm happy with the hold, I think. Accessibility chat wall is this. Help you communicate with your co-op partner. So that's if you don't want to be, if you're kind of like playing with strangers and you kind of worried it's like a 7-year-old dude on his period and he's going to be screaming and telling his mum to F off, then you can just use a chat wheel instead of actually using voice. And then we have an option for grid or wheel selection and weapons, anything. All handy stuff, quality of life stuff. Audio options. This one's the only kind of little bit of dent in this fantastic settings options screen otherwise. And that's that they don't separate sound effects or voice. It's all lumped into one master volume, which is a bit of an oversight really. At least as far as I can tell. I don't think voice chat's voice. I think they got music on and off obviously. Stream mode, this could be handy. So you know, like typically if you're doing the streaming or recording thing and you don't have any backups ready, or you don't want to do any editing, or your computer's too slow for that kind of thing, you don't want to have to do that. You don't have your audio on separate channels, you know, you could be screwed. What you can do is turn on stream mode, and basically we'll just turn off all of the music that is licensed, because the music industry is stupid, and then you don't have to worry about it. So that's some nice acknowledgement and awareness from Ubisoft there. But still, you know, we shouldn't be still having to deal with this shit in 2019, should we really? You know, a license should mean you can play the game, record it, put it on YouTube, wherever else, and not have any problems. It's licensed. We're not selling the music so people can listen to it so they don't spend money on Spotify. I mean, music industry get life. This is why you're in trouble, because you're stupid. Anyway, audio language. So you have English, Espanol, Francais, Deutsch, Italiano. Yeah. It's audio language. Subtitles. There's usually a little bit more options than subtitles, because you know it's more cost effective, I guess. Less time consuming. English, Francais, Deutsch, Italiano, Polska, Espanol, Czech, and off. And the Deutsch, or not Deutsch, Dutch. Does that would be something else? Deutsch. That's German. Anyway, English. We got on. Speaker name. Speaker's name is displayed. Sometimes they give you an option that this doesn't show until you know the person said their name, and I don't see that option here. But I'm not sure if it works like that already automatically. But it's on by default. Tiles background semi-transparent, on or off. Pretty much self-explanatory. Change the size if you're kind of person that's usually wearing double glazing glasses. They got you covered. Sound subtitles. So that's if like it's an explosion or something. It'll say explosion. Handy if you're what's the word? Like if you've got a hearing impairment or something. So that's cool. Voice chat indicator. Self-explanatory co-op stuff. Voice chat. That's communications. Pickup threshold. That's that's kind of like noise thingy. Noise filtering. Push to talk. Always on or off. So you can make sure you're not effing and blinding while unintentionally sending it to the world, or at least your co-op partners. I have mine off. I'm not playing no co-op. Too antisocial for that. Speakers. Does this matter? Oh yeah, that's fine. Even default. Toggle voiceover. Main pause menu here. Navigation audio keys voiceover is available. What? Oh, this is a menu voiceover. I think it's for basically for maybe people that are sight impaired. I think. Yeah, I think so. It's a quality enough. It's a nice touch. Text to speech to text again. If you don't want to talk to the person in real life because they might be crazy, or you're worried that they're underage or something, and you don't want to get #MeToo'd. Maybe it's a female or something. That's your option there. So that's some good options. Is just missing the obligatory, well not obligatory, but it's missing the separation of the audio, which is the voice, the sound effects, and then the music, and then you know like ambience and music or whatever. Unfortunate. Video. This is where it really starts to shine. You can see a video adapt. I suppose you could select if you have more than one here. You can set refresh rate. As you can see, a whole bunch of options. If you're doing the benchmark, which it does have as well, then you want to turn off the I think we'll get to those options. I can't remember if it's refresh rate. That's not one of the options. Match that to your television or your monitor, by the way. Go full screen if you want the HDR on PC, on Windows 10. You can go windowed or borderless. We have to go full screen, so we have the HDR. Again, I have to recolor for that because you guys won't see that because it's not easy or possible to record HDR, one of the two. 4K. This may end up being a Ultra HD 1440p instead. As you can see, the bar at the bottom there shows how much video memory it's using. There's 6 gigabytes or just under that on this graphics card. If you have 8 gigabytes, I suppose you'll be fine. You probably want 8 gigabytes, but this is like the cheapest RTX card on the market at time of recording. And I was in a completely new setup, so you know, don't give me any grief about it. And we'll be using that RTX will come in handy as much as people mock it. Will come in handy for our Metro Exodus playthrough. So there, So there.
Get wrecked.
Hopefully anyway, as long as it's not too slow. I've done benchmarking, it seems to work fine with it. You can change your display. I got 3 displays. I'm not messing with that. That's good. Oh look. Ooh. Okay. I think it's because you can't be full screen. I think if you're not full screen, you can select the menu display and multi-display. You can set the menu to be on a separate display. Essentially, it's pretty cool. No good for me because I'm recording, and you guys need to see what's going on in the menus. And then you obviously have all of this good stuff as well. Custom 5:4, 4:3, aspect ratio 16:10, 5:3, and I'm 16:9, and it's messed up my display size. There we go. Also HDR, we can you'll see next up. So go to the next screen with the LBRB button. I'm not sure what it is with keyboard and mouse. You can use keyboard or mouse if that's your thing. And it is a lot of people's thing on the PC with the shooters. That's completely fine. You know, it's your life. This is where it gets even more interesting. So as you can see, we've got the presets. You can go the ultra high. Now, in my experience of all the lots of testing I've done, ultra and high, I haven't seen much difference between two. About 5 FPS difference in the two. So if you're gonna go high, you probably might as well go ultra. And you got normal and low. What I like about this section here as well is that it gives you a preview of how it looks. So you can see it looks pretty rough on low. On ultra, it looks a little bit more cleaner. Should we say? A little bit more details, more shadows going on there, more objects in the environment. I can see some dirt on the car there on the right mid. There's a few more things going on. So you can see the differences. A little bit more dust in the atmosphere, more trees, more foliage. Yeah. And then you can visually change all the settings there. And what's cool is they also tell you, they give you a kind of close up of what it's affecting. And as you adjust it, you'll see the differences. So like texture filtering, you can see low, the logs look crap. High, they got a bit more detail. Shadows as well, same dealio. More kind of like fixed, I would say that is. It's more stiff, should we say. So it looks thicker on low, but when you have it on high, you're having the ultra, so we're having smoothing going on. So it's more realistic. It's fading more from the distance and things like that. I forget what they call it that's going on. Probably contact shadows going on there, maybe. Hard contact shadows probably on ultra, I guess. And high is a little more standard. Geometry and vegetation. Essentially, that should be the amount of things that are in the depth of it. As you can see there, looks like there's lots of shrubs and emptiness, and then it's like filled up. So I think these kind of things can help with performance. I'm going to change those things. Graphical details. Yeah, you can see there that the car's losing a lot of detail. It's more kind of flat almost, and there's more kind of levels of shading going on in the car there, or at least in the textures, one of the two. A little bit of detail being lost in the back there, back distance to the water, as you can see. This is a nice system. It's you know, it's good. It's a good options. This is a good options menu. If I was rating options menus and settings menus on PC, this would be like a 9 out of 10. And just at the moment, they're missing that separation of sound effects and voice, ambience, and or game music, which is really can be important when you're trying to figure out. Because this game has got like soft audio to me as well. It's quite soft. It would benefit from having separate audio, so you could just turn up the voices a bit, and you know. But anyway, water, same dealio. I know hard to, well, not hard to see. You can see it's a little bit more sploshed and nah. Just a little bit more tighter, I suppose. That one only got up to high. Terrain, low. Yeah, distance, you can see the distance there, it looks a lot less detailed in the mountains there. A lot more flat shaded. That could be the sunlight moving, I don't know. Volumetric fog, this should be quite obvious. He says that, it's not really, is it, in the picture there. What you can see is the memory is going up each time when you put on ultra. Which is why I was struggling to record and play this at the same time. Despite the fact I could do it with most other games, but with like really taxing games, you kind of have to use a separate machine, as you should do anyway, irrespective. As much as RTX and series and of graphics cards and so forth are made for the idea of recording on one machine with 2 or 3 monitors, I would say really you still want to be recording on a separate machine. It just gives you the best of both worlds. You know, if a game crashes or something, or the computer crashes, I should say, you don't end up like, especially if you're like streaming, imagine a game, your computer crashes, you know. But it's happened before to me. But because I was recording a lappy, it's like, okay, we crash. You guys got to see a sexy blue screen. Back in the moment, watch some sexy previews. Can't do that if it crashes on your machine. Not that crashes are often thing on PC these days on the Windows 10. You know, Windows 10 is pretty good for that. HD textures should be self-explan. A little bit more detail there. It's a little bit more blurred, as you can see. You just get a little bit more detail. I think this is specifically mostly for the 4K Ultra HD level, but you can still benefit from it in 1080p. And I can't remember if I had to, I don't think this was a separate download. I think it's a separate download potentially on Steam, but don't quote me. TXAA, SMAA, and off, which gives you horrible edges. So smooth-ish there, and you got the both. I can't remember if it's TAA or the TXAA, which you don't have in this. That sometimes people don't like a certain style of anti-aliasing, which makes things a little bit blurred or whatever, but we have it on the maximum. And you got motion blur, which you can just take off. Some people don't like it. I don't mind it, and I've never had any complaints viewing wise about it being on, so we'll leave it on. Okay, beautiful quality options menu thing, a beautiful menu. HDR settings. So just to illustrate again, so what's happening with HDR, at least for me, I have to recolor it basically. So if I go in, I've done this so many times that I like to show people, especially in this settings section. This is the gameplay section, is going to be part 1 obviously. This is you know, if I go in filters here on OBS, I turn it off, and you can see it looks gearish. It just looks like that. That's how HDR things will look. And if I turn on the whiteness here, paper white is literally that, how white you want the whites to be. So you can see it there. And then if I turn it back on, and there we go. I spent so many hours trying to figure out how to play in HDR and still record without like spending thousands of dollars or something for a tool. So anyway, that just affects the brightness, as you can see, kind of. Generally, you want this at the maximum that your television or monitor can handle, unless it kind of looks wrong to you. But you know, it's fine. I like that. I like it maximum. Yeah, and in colorblind mode, just gives you a little bit. Oh, it looks like it's got a thing around it. Apparently, that helps you if you have color blindness. I don't know. I can't confirm. Thank God I don't have that. But if you do, maybe you can confirm in the comments if that works. It's kind of purple haze around the edges. That's if you're colorblind, you're sorted as well. And finally, I think we're in advanced settings now. So Vsync, well, you should know what that is. Essentially, is it tries to lock things to your frame rate thingy-majig of your monitor, your refresh rate, and avoid stops tearing coming from the top down, usually vertical tearing. What have you. So just basically like kind of lines when you're turning around and stuff, or some fast action happens, you'll see the lines. That's kind of screen tearing essentially. Frame rate lock, self-explanatory. Lock the frame rate or not, gives you a more consistent input. If we run at 4K, we won't be hitting 60 anyway. We'll be hitting probably a maximum of 40 to 45 with this graphics card. I think the consoles are locked at 30 frames per second, but they do 4K on the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. So yeah, so you can do that, change it though. It can pick up to 100 and something, I think. Let's go up, do it for science for you guys. 144. So if you've got 144 refresh rate monitor, you can lock it on there and go absolutely wild. I think generally I'll probably try and have it running at 60 FPS, but even with 1440p it wasn't too different in that, so I don't know. But I think this one, like in Rage 2, you really want it to be 60 frames per second. That game feels very different when it's not 60. This game, it feels kind of fine. I don't know why. It just does. Which is why it runs on 30 on the consoles, and Rage 2 runs at 60, but only 1080p with no HDR and everything else on the consoles. But that game really wants to be 60, kind of like Doom wants to be 60 as well. I feel like those games, they're much faster paced in a way, faster paced shooters. These ones are more kind of mid pace, I should say, so you can get away with 30 or a little bit above and get the better visuals. Adaptive resolution is crazy if you turn it on. Oh wait, I forgot about this. It's got the scaling, view scaling. Everyone likes some FRV sliders. People get absolutely mad on the PC if you don't have this. They got you covered. Don't panic. Adaptive resolution, literally kind of like a, I think potentially it's what it goes on with the PlayStation 4 Pro, kinda, which switches to resolution, but the checkerboard type rendering almost type thing. But I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But you can do that. You can turn it at 30 or 60. I don't know if that changes depending on what the frame rate refresh options you have, but that's what they have there. So it will change the resolution depending on, like, you know, if you're not meeting the 30 or 60 frames per second. The problem with it is it seems to really make the memory go wacky, as you can see there, 60. That means that even if you have like an 8GB graphics card, you're screwed. It jumps up to 10, bottom left in the video RAM. So yeah, that's not going to be happening. Resolution scale, an interesting thing as well. This is it says that it affects the anti-aliasing essentially. So you can go all the way up to 2. Again, you're going to be talking about a RTX Titan X Plus something graphics. You need like some kind of Angry Joe rig, you know, to be doing this and this type of thing. Because I think that's the only range of graphics cards that Nvidia does that goes above 10 gigabytes. You know, it's yeah, crazy level graphics cards, like graphics cards that cost the price of a whole system essentially. So yeah, but it's there if you have the power and you're fortunate enough to have such a money. Apart from throwing me some in the donation link, you know, you can do it with this this sentence screen. It's wicked. So this is a wicked sentence screen. This is just the audio thing that lets it down. They should have separate audio channels. Always. Gamepad covered. Vibration on off. Look sensitivity. Aiming assist. What? I thought I turned this off. What the hell? Why is it always on? I hate the aiming assists. Right, it's off now. Jeez. So you can do that. You can have it on if you want. You can change the settings on the ground. So it's got everything you need, right? You can change the buttons. I don't want to mess around with my buttons, but you can change the buttons around, I think. Yeah, you can change the buttons around. You can even change the sticks. Look at this. And you can change everything. This is a legit. You know, this isn't the sexiest thing, but if you're a technical person, PC person, and that, this is sexy. This is a sexy options menu, man. Driving and shooting aim assist. I think that's actually fine because it's really hard to do the bubblegum chewing and walking at the same time. So yeah, generally you want to leave that on, in my opinion. Otherwise you're just going to be shooting at nothing. You're going to be shooting trees and animals instead of the dudes trying to kill you. But generally on foot, you want to be having it off. I think you don't want your skills to get too dull. You'll be ultra reliant on it, and it will be difficult to transition to keyboard and mouse type shooters as well. If you're relying on aiming assist aren't a thing on the keyboard and mouse, so you won't be able to transition from one to the other. You want to get good at, or decent, or reasonable, or average on either setup. Get your aiming assist off, turn it off. It's always on the Far Cry games. Get it off. You'll feel better about yourself when you get a headshot. Helicopter controls, shooter, classic. Yeah, let's see that. Got options anyway. You can invert as well the pitch, which is going to be important for people. I know some people prefer it the other way around, depending on whatever the way around is in the game itself. So yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Keyboard and mouse as well. You're about to have to change your underpants. Mouse acceleration, you can do that. I think generally the general rule of thumb is to have that off, and even have it off in Windows. Other people that do the hardcore PC keyboard and mouse thing, you want to have that off in Windows as well. Look, sensitivity, acceleration, and yeah, you can do that. That's all there. Invert look, there you go. Invert wingsuit. I almost said wing stick. Wingsuit pitch. Got your ground settings as well. Look at that. You change all the keyboard keys. It's got a picture of the keyboard on the right. Look at that. This is a proper options menu. If there was awards for options menu, Ubisoft with Far Cry New Dawn would be in every list in the running and probably win the majority of them. This is a fantastic options menu. It's a joyous thing to see. I don't think I've seen as clean and as intuitive options menu as I'm seeing here in a while. And it makes the separation of audio, lack of separation of audio, even more glaring because it's so full blown. So you notice the aim assist is off because it's a lot easier to shoot while driving and shooting with a keyboard and a mouse and as a controller. I would say you just gotta pretend that you're clicking the unfollow button, or in my case, for this, you just gotta pretend that you're clicking the subscribe button, and then pretend that you're clicking the like button, and then pretend that you're doing like this keyboard and typing in a comment. So yeah, you're covered, man. There's everything there, everything you could ever want. It's like Christmas, this options menu, interface options. So again, I know some people don't like that, the fact that Far Cry games tell you where everything is and mark everything. Some people like it, some people don't. You can go however you want. You can turn off anything you don't like, you can turn it off. You know, you can go mad. Every single thing pretty much. You can play it like you're playing Ranger mode in a Metro game. They got you covered, man. They got you covered. You can just go wild. Absolutely nuts. So yeah, and there's a shortcut as well. Turn it all off. Default is all on. I got no problem with it. I'm fine. I don't. Yeah. I'll leave the indicators all off for the Demon Souls playthroughs that we're doing and the Souls games playthroughs, and those are cryptic enough for me. So yeah, I'm fine with that. Fine with my Far Cry games having indicators on, but you can turn off everything you want. Leave anything on that you want. And yeah. And then there's a benchmark. Should we just run it? Just to see, so it should be about between 30 and 40 frames per second. Let's just go and run with it. Not every PC game has a benchmark, even some of the major ones. Or a lot of them are hidden, like Metro Exodus one's hidden, like really hidden. It's an actual decent-ish benchmark tool, but it's very hidden. It's kind of like, it's kind of interesting, shall we say. You can see here again, typically we'll be playing this on we played all of the other, or broadcast wise, I've played all the other Far Cry's on console. The PlayStation 4 Pro, which will be 4K at, I think, 30 frames a second, I could be wrong. So we're gonna see if we can play this in 4K at above 30 frames a second, just under. Well, not just under, sorry, just under the 60, or just under the 50 really. Which will be fine. Like we didn't have no one had any problems with us playing 30 frames on the consoles. So, there's always dips about here. So it should be fine on the PC here, running at the average of like 40. Anything above 30 is going to be a bonus, right? I think even the Xbox One X runs at 30 as well, so. We're running above those settings. Generally, my barometer rule of thumb is if I can run above the highest powerful console, then I'm happy with my settings in there. So as you see, average 40 is not too bad. Maximum 48, yeah, we ain't gonna really touch 60 with this graphics card. With all the settings, everything up on. And obviously I had the frame rate lock on and all that in Vsync, which can affect the results. But I've done it many a times with those off, and it doesn't make really much of a difference. You're not gonna get above that with this setup that I have. So again, I should tell you the settings I have here. So my CPU is a AMD Ryzen 7 1700X. It's a what's it called? Octa core? Is it octa for 8 cores? Runs at 3.4 gigahertz, I believe. RAM is 32 gigabytes on the system. 6 gigabytes on the graphics card. Is a NVIDIA Geforce RTX 2060, the cheapest of the RTX range. Pretty much the best one to get if you're starting new and you have like a really old graphics card. If your graphics card is more newer, maybe you have some things to figure out. I don't know. So yeah, you pretty much go. It's a pretty good benchmarking tool. The only thing with this benchmarking tool, I would say, and this is a general thing with all benchmarking tools, it doesn't take into account things like cutscenes. When I tested it before doing the first broadcast of this game, which there is a part already, it was stuttering all over the place in cutscenes. And and this doesn't run in a cutscene of any kind, so you can't actually test the cutscene side of things, right? So that's kind of the problem. But that's a criticism of all benchmarking tools, really. If it's a criticism at all. Open folder, I don't want to do that, but they save all the details in your they save all the comparisons. You can compare each one to see how it is. Detailed info. Press A here. You can see here it's got this kind of browser thing going on. It's pretty cool. And Uplay, I like Uplay compared to a lot of the other ones now. It's, you know, like I've said it many times, you get discount stuff with it that you can use on their sales. Even when they're on the sale, you can use a discount. With 200 of the coins, get 20% off a thing. That's sizable. Oh look, there you go. You can see all my settings now there. Ryzen 700X 8-core processor. Geforce RTX 2060. That's the driver version. That should be the latest. RAM 32. VRAM 5.84. They always steal a bit of your RAM, don't they? Steal a bit of your memory and stuff. It's out of order. Yeah, that's kind of what we'll be running. It might be down to 1440p though if it's a little bit funky. That bit there is always where the helicopter comes in. I don't know why it dips there like that. Like even on the console, you get minor freeze here and there, nothing major, so it's not unusual. You know, you can't go too crazy about these kind of things sometimes. Well, you can, but you shouldn't. Yeah. So yeah, that's the that's our under the hood for Far Cry New Dawn, sequel to Far Cry 5. Pretty much everything. Is there anything else to look at here? Credits is credits. Hopefully we'll take a look at that when we finish the game, which is what we normally do. Ubisoft Club is Ubisoft Club, as usual. Let me see if there's anything good. Probably a good idea to do it now, maybe, I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Shouldn't be any. I've opened those up a few times and grabbed some things, like some of those missions and stuff. I don't think there's anything for New Dawn. Thank you. Why is my email thing popping up? I'm gonna cut that out again. That's annoying. But yeah, that will be cut out. I just had an email pop up, man. I gotta turn off that thing. It's getting annoying. It keeps coming in the middle of my recordings and doing the sound thing, so there's gonna be a cut there. Ubisoft Club again. I'll probably just censor it or whatever, rather than cut it. Just in case, I don't think there's anything there. It's just a receipt for a thing. It's probably for the Facebook streaming nonsense thingy. But I'll just censor it just in case. I don't know. No dramas. It's making it take longer, that's for sure. Thanks, email. Notifier thingy. Why I should be closing all the browsers when I'm doing this, really. Taking forever for some reason. Maybe we don't get to look at it. I think there's just like some like stuff. Oh, here we go. This is a better way of doing this, quicker. Nice challenges, what's the rewards? There we go. This is a lot quicker. We got some weapons there and stuff. I guess this is an extension of the menu. So it counts for under the hood. Just skins and stuff, right? In this case. No missions or nothing like that. And you can see we've got some achievements because we've done like one episode like 2 or 3 hours. But it was like I said, it wasn't to the standard that I would call happy with. But it's still like whatever percentage of that is still blind by like 95% or more. Alright, that's enough information. Clicking too much things there. I don't think there's anything sensitive in there anyway. Yeah. Alright. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're technically inclined, you want to see all the options and stuff. Just a little experiment of a new thing that we do now. Just check things out, see what's what. Because I sometimes have a habit of going into those things before the start of the game, which is not generally a good idea in my opinion. I like to try and get straight to the point these days now. So I think it's best to separate these things. Rather than be like, hey guys, this is the sentence, blah 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 blah. Let's go. Right, let's go. Type of thing. But yeah, that was your under the hood. I almost said bonnet. Under the hood. Settings and options menus of Far Cry New Dawn. And if you enjoyed it and you want more, you're looking forward to watching the gameplay that's coming next, then don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, wherever your alert thingamajiggy is. Don't forget to follow. I always say follow as well, even though subscribe the same thing on YouTube, but you might be watching on YouTube, you might be watching on like Facebook or something, or somewhere else. So just make sure you hit the subscribe or follow button, wherever it is that makes sense for the platform you're on. Hit the alert thingamajiggy, which is typically a bell thing, so that you get notifications. You only get notifications for good stuff, not for like experiments and side things, so you won't get spammed. And don't forget to like as well, so that YouTube and its ilk, Facebook and all the other places know that you like it. And don't forget to leave a comment as well, because that's like engagement stuff. They love that stuff, they absolutely love it. So yeah, definitely do that. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you in part 1 of Far Cry New Dawn blind playthrough.